be first, be last, right? That means I started. We both throw in. You threw your last one, and I still hit a couple on the way out.
The night before the fight, that's one of the hardest sleeps you might have. You're just going through a scenario. If he throws this punch, I'm gonna do this. He throws a low kick, I'm gonna check, I'm gonna counter. He throws this, I'm gonna do that.
And I couldn't hear anything at all but this one guy. Punch him in his face! In his face! Punch him in his face! That's all I could hear the whole time. I couldn't hear my corner. I felt distracted. I allowed myself to get distracted, you know. That was my fault to begin with. But
Hey everyone, welcome to The Framework. And today's topic, we're gonna talk about the bell rings. Now what?
perfect. So if the bell rings on the fight, when the bell rings on the fight, first thing that I think to do about this is to make sure my defense is engaged, my hands are up, and my lead hand is further out. For me personally, I feel safer out here when I'm fighting, whether it's boxing, kickboxing, sparring, whatever it is. I feel safer out here for a while at this range. When the bell rings, do we run at each other? What do you think?
That can be a strategy. I mean, there are times when the bell rings and a guy just comes out like a buzzsaw and da 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 da. However, if that's not your fighting style, you're not used to that, you might fall right into his trap and get buzzsawed right over. So maybe you might want to come out. And here's a quick point. You might want to decide if you're going to touch gloves or not. You might already need to have that in your head. So even before, I've done this personally in fights where we're starting off right over here. I'm looking at my opponent. Before the fight even starts, I raise my hand as in, hey, are we touching gloves? I get the head nod, okay. So we come out, we touch, boom. Exactly, so that's one thing you gotta watch out for. So maybe you touch gloves, and maybe you might wanna take a half step back, just like Coach over here said. Maybe you might wanna start off a little bit over here, okay? Another strategy could be the bell rings, maybe you touch gloves, boom, right off the gate. I hit him right out the gate with a nice, stiff, hard jab to kind of let him know I mean business. So is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I could just contribute in the sense that I like that too, that the second we touch, the first thing I'm trying to do is, you know, throw something out there that make you think, oh shit, okay, this guy's serious. You can tell my posture's different too. If we said the bell rings, I'm nervous, and what sucks too is nerves. When them nerves come out, you would like to do what you think you should do, but it's most likely what you trained. If you're training for any kind of fight, you should be training the first bit of your fight. It's great to hit the bag. It's great to spar. We should be focused on that first bit too. Ding! When we get here, this is one of them deciding moments in a lot of fights, you know, and in the earlier stages, maybe in the later stages, you can recover. But again, if this was your first fight and we came out right here, how do you feel emotionally?
Emotionally, a little panic sometimes. I know for me, I had a fight where, of course, I did everything right. I did the training, did the running, did the sparring, everything I was supposed to do. Did the warm up. We came out, bell rang, boom, and I just kind of froze. My mind just kind of went blank. And I remember thinking to myself, like, is this it? This is the moment. This is what I trained for 8 weeks, and it's here. So it's not a bad idea to maybe, if you decide to touch gloves, you touch gloves. Maybe you might want to bounce, kind of circle out. Maybe you circle to your left or circle to your right, kind of get some things established. And there's going to be a lot of people yelling. There's going to be a lot of like noise going on. So another point is watch listening to the crowd. Listen to your corner. Yeah, is there anything you want to add to that?
This specifically happened to me in one of my fights. One of the friends came down from like Wyoming or something to watch the fight, and I couldn't hear anything at all but this one guy. Punch him in his face! In his face! Punch him in his face! That's all I could hear the whole time. I couldn't hear my corner. I felt distracted. I allowed myself to get distracted, you know. That was my fault to begin with. But when you're trying to listen, if you can't hear your coach, it's not the end of the world, but you should definitely do a good job of trying to shut out the crowd, because no matter what, somebody's gonna be yelling something crazy. Family members are there, loved ones are there. They want to see their person do good, and in the heat of the moment, people say wild stuff in the crowds, right? You ever heard anything pretty offlandish in the?
Yeah, to keep it PG, come on, man. Check his oil. It was an MMA fight, so you'll hear a lot of crazy things people saying in the crowd. So the best advice is listen to your corner. And here's another good thing you can do, which I did with a lot of my corners, is have code words. So a lot of times your opponent can actually hear what your coach is saying. So we're saying 2, 3, 2, jab, low kick. So maybe you might want to have some code names. So for example, towards the last 30 seconds of the round, obviously you want to be a little bit more active and you want to try to close out the round. So when my team would come up, we would say, hey Mike, orange. And that was just cute for me to say, okay, there's 30 seconds left. Now I just need to not go berserk, but I need to be assertive and like be aggressive and really close out the round. Is there anything that's happened for you, like you and your team, that maybe you had a couple of code words that way you know what to do?
Not as much code words, because most of the time I kind of doze off in fighting and hope that my instincts took over and my training took over, and I kind of do zone out for me personally. But one thing you said is like, I was listening to the other corner and they just calling it out, jab, pat, jab, cross, pat, pat, you know, and it make you look really good because you're just listening to them play the video game, where sometimes I understand as a coach, you want to help get your person there. But if you don't think about this as the coach in the corner, man, it's something to think about. If you out there giving up the strategy and there's no code words, it's just jab, cross, kick. You can watch fights where there's people just trying to like coach the entire thing. Jab, cross, hook, look, low kick, hook, jab, cross, block. What? How do you think that is being interpreted? You know, do you think they're going to do everything exactly how you say it? Maybe that's how you guys train. That's wild. Or maybe, like you said, code words would really help out a lot, in the sense that maybe you want some distance with somebody. So instead it might be like Venice, and that just tells me to stay out. Does the word Venice mean anything about distance to me? No. Not even, I don't know, it's a place in France, you know, somewhere, right? Somewhere on that side of the planet. But when I'm throwing that and I hear that, at least it did tell me that I should keep some range. Maybe I hear something else, you know, backyard, and that tells me maybe I should be trying to work in low, or I'm going for low shots. So yeah, code words absolutely are good. Let's maybe go back one time or talk about strategies besides these things, code words, or back to the first 10 seconds. What's a strategy? Give me one.
I think one strategy is, I like to call them kind of feeler establishing shots. So maybe I come out and I just want to make contact. Okay, so I'm in a southpaw stance right now. So maybe we come out, we touch gloves, boom. Maybe we circle. I just touch glove, boom. I just want to make contact, okay? I just touch, boom, boom. And then I send in with my heart 1, 2. So maybe the bell rings. Maybe I don't throw my biggest, baddest shot right out the gate. So maybe we touch, boom. He comes in. I'm already ready to throw my teep. He's coming forward. I just jab, low, boom, boom, boom. Come here, okay? And here's the thing, you gotta feel the fight. So there's a rhythm and a tempo, and once you can tell yourself, okay, I'm making contact, and I think that's what's good about the feeling, establishing shots, is I'm making contact. So, okay, I know I can hit my jab, I know I got my low kick, now all I gotta do is start to power up and just start to feel the fight. Is there anything you wanna add to the flow and the rhythm and the tempo?
Yeah, in that term, and also with strategies, there's coaches who yell this out, and I think it's a good strategy. Be first, be last, right? That means I started, we both throw in, you threw your last foot, and I still hit a couple on the way out or whatever. Be first, be last. I would love that to be every fight. It's very tough on that, but in the same sense, are you training everything to be a power shot? If that's all you got, then I can't come in here and touch anything because all I know is boom. So maybe in the first 10 seconds, what I'd like to see from my own competitors or even just people competing is something that establishes yourself. I don't know what he's going to do. I think I do. But if I know what I'm going to do, I'm probably in a better place versus I'm going to come out here, well, shoot, is he going to kick me? Is he going to punch me? Versus I'm going to come out here in a strong stance, and whatever he throws at first, throw any, like I'm just ready for something. He goes for a low kick, and I'm ready to eat that. He goes for a knee, and I'm just maybe ready for the most general strikes, you know, some flying knees and Supermans. A lot of things are tricky in fighting, but that first engagement, I'm looking to set myself in the best possible stance I can be, and that way I feel ready myself.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point because you can't control what your opponent's gonna do. I mean, there's times the night before the fight, that's one of the hardest sleeps you might have. You're just going through a scenario. If he throws this punch, I'm gonna do this. He throws a low kick, I'm gonna check, I'm gonna counter. He throws this, I'm gonna do that. You'll spend the whole night tossing and tossing and tossing, thinking about if he does this, I'm gonna do this. So one of the biggest thing is we're not gonna worry about what he's gonna do. I'm gonna worry about what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna come out, we'll touch gloves, I'm gonna be light on my feet, I'm gonna move, I'm gonna hit some establishing shots, and I'm gonna land a nice solid 1-2. So maybe that's your plan. You come out, you touch gloves, you move around, and the plan, establish a nice hard 1-2 right out the gate, make them respect your punches. So is there anything you wanna just briefly touch on, like, as far as like the mindset and what your opponent's gonna do, and you're gonna go back and forth with yourself?
Yeah, mindset, from my own experience, I didn't have the greatest mindset the whole time I was competing. It would have been nice, you know, but for reasons of my own in life, whatever, my mindset changed sometimes throughout it. When I first started, aggressive, then I got real timid. And other times I was over aggressive, and it was like I never settled down until the later. And like now I feel comfortable, but I'm getting old. So it's hard on timing to find the right mental state. Make yourself a strategy for controlling what happens upstairs. Because again, if we count this out, watch, we'll go a 5-second count. We step back, ding, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot can happen, and that's 5 seconds. We're talking about the first 10 seconds. So making sure, I guess, with tempo and timing and the overall picture of the first 10 seconds of this, have a strategy for that. The whole fight, yes, for sure, but the first 10 seconds can be so detrimental to any fight.
Right. So I think that's a good kind of summary of what to do for the first 10 seconds of a fight. So again, decide if you're going to come out and touch gloves. You need to decide, am I going to throw a hard power shot right out the gate and make him respect me? Do I want to throw a few establishing shots, just make contact and start to feel the fight and then start to go? Should I have a few code words? Should I not worry so much about what he's going to do and focus more on what I'm going to do? So that's kind of some things you want to be thinking about on the first 10 seconds of a fight.
Yeah, overall, be ready for that first bit, whatever it is, whatever. Touching gloves, not touching gloves, throwing hard, feeling them out. Be ready for something intense. They'll come out and think it's 20% at first, and I'll build my way up. 100% mental clarity, focus, attention. Yeah, that's about all I got on this topic.
Yeah, likewise. Okay, so thanks for joining us. More episodes are coming up next, so be on the lookout for them. Thank you for watching.